These two syringes look almost identical, but choosing the wrong one led to contaminated bags and months of wasted grows. When I switched to the other one, I finally had my first successful grow. Both are sold as ways to start growing mushrooms, so when you're brand new, it's easy to assume they're interchangeable, but unfortunately, they're not. Today we're breaking down liquid culture versus spore syringes, what's inside of each one, what likely went wrong with my first grows, the pros and cons of each, and which gives beginners the best chance at success. And while one is normally faster and more predictable, the other has one major advantage that becomes much more useful as you get deeper into mushroom growing. So let's kick this thing off with the syringe that caused all of my problems early on. When I was brand new to growing, I kept seeing spore syringes recommended online, and my uninformed logic was pretty simple. Mushrooms grow from spores, so I guess this is what I need. I bought a couple syringes, a few all-in-one bags, I injected them right before leaving for vacation, and I spent the entire trip excited to come home and see some mushrooms. When I got back, I was pretty bummed to see almost nothing had happened. It wasn't until a few days later that I finally saw a small patch of grain start turning white. Success! Or so I thought. Over the next several weeks, that white patch never spread, and instead the bag actually started developing these brown and blue areas, and after doing some cursory research, I came to the conclusion that my bag was contaminated. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So I tried again and kept running into contamination and ended up losing more bags, more syringes, the money that I spent on everything, months of wasted time, and I was just enveloped in frustration. And because I was brand new, I didn't really know what to blame as the cause. Was it the bag? Was it my syringe? Was it my technique? All of the above. Without testing everything beforehand, it's pretty hard to definitively prove where this error was coming from. What I didn't really understand at the time was that a spore syringe may not be the ideal starting point for a new grower. After continuing my online mushroom education, I eventually discovered liquid culture. With my new liquid cultures, I followed essentially the same basic process that I had before, but this time I actually saw nice white mycelium start spreading through my grain. That was when I realized I hadn't just switched brands or purchased a better syringe, I had switched to a completely different biological starting point. A spore syringe contains microscopic mushroom spores suspended in water. Those spores are at the beginning of the mushroom life cycle. Before they can colonize your grain and grow all those mushrooms you want, they first need the right conditions to germinate and actually begin growing into mycelium. Liquid culture, on the other hand, already contains living mushroom mycelium suspended in a nutritious broth. And for anyone who doesn't know, mycelium is that white thread-like fungus that actually grows the fruits that are mushrooms. The easiest comparison between these two syringes is probably a seed versus a plant cutting. A spore is somewhat like a seed. There's plenty of potential inside, but it still has to wake up and establish some new growth. Liquid culture, on the other hand, is closer to a cutting from a plant that's already alive and growing. Not a perfect analogy, but it gets the main idea across. And that difference affects more than just how quickly they grow. It also affects our certainty about what exactly it is we're injecting into our grain. With spores, the water, syringe, and needle all need to be sterile. The uncertainty comes from the spores themselves. You see, spores have to be collected from a mushroom, and that mushroom likely grew in an environment full of open air, bacteria, mold spores, and other microscopic organisms. That can make it a bit difficult to guarantee that nothing else was collected alongside them. Now, this doesn't mean every single spore syringe is absolutely filthy and guaranteed contamination. In fact, plenty of growers can use them successfully, but a clear-looking spore syringe shouldn't automatically be treated like a verified clean culture. Most contamination is microscopic. You're not gonna see a tiny bacteria waving at you from the bottom of the syringe, though that would be pretty interesting to see. When I injected my spore syringe into those all-in-one bags, I didn't really have an opportunity to inspect what else might have been inside. Everything went directly into warm, moist, nutrient-rich grain. It's the perfect environment for mycelium, but unfortunately also a fantastic environment for bacteria and other molds. This is why I now like to put spores onto agar first. Agar is that nutritious gel inside a petri dish. It'll give us the opportunity to examine anything that might grow before we risk an entire bag or jar. Liquid culture solves a part of this problem, but it would be a mistake to assume that liquid culture can't be contaminated as well. Liquid culture contains living mycelium inside a sugary solution, but as you probably know by now, any environment that's suitable for growing mycelium is also probably going to be suitable for growing contaminants. Bacteria and other fungi can grow in that liquid as well, and they won't always be super obvious. You may see those healthy white looking mycelium while something unwanted is growing right beside it. The big advantage with liquid culture is that it can be made from an established mushroom culture that has already been isolated, tested, and expanded under controlled conditions. A lot of growers still like to test a new liquid culture on agar before committing to a large batch of grain, but if you're brand new and don't have agar yet or don't know how to make it, keep it simple and just buy your liquid culture from a trusted vendor, use clean technique, and start with one bag before inoculating an entire batch. Getting your hands on clean liquid culture will make mushroom growing dramatically easier. That concern is actually why I eventually started happymycelium.com, to give new growers access to many of the same established mushroom genetics that I'm using in these very videos. I'll have that link below as well as any materials I'm showing throughout this video. Now, cleanliness isn't the only reason liquid culture usually feels easier. The next difference is the one that growers, even new growers, will tend to notice first: speed. Since liquid culture already contains living mycelium, it can normally begin spreading through grain much faster. Spores still need the right conditions to germinate and begin growing into mycelium, which can add days or sometimes even weeks where it looks like absolutely nothing is happening. And when you're brand new, that waiting period can be stressful. You start wondering, did I mess something up? Is the bag too cold? Was the syringe bad? Or do I just need to check it another 14 times today? The exact timing still depends on the species, temperature, grain, and individual culture. Some cultures are going to absolutely tear through grain and make you feel like a pro, while others really take their time. But speed matters for more than just our patience. The moment that you inoculate a bag or a jar, a race begins. Your mycelium may very well be competing with bacteria or mold, so the sooner it can establish itself, the less opportunity those contaminants have to take over. Liquid culture is starting with that mycelium already at the starting line, while spores still have to put their shoes on. And yet, even with that huge advantage, speed still isn't the biggest advantage that liquid culture gives a new grower. The bigger advantage, in my opinion, is knowing exactly what's about to grow. A spore syringe can contain an enormous number of spores, and those spores aren't all genetically identical. As they germinate and combine, they can produce many different genetic outcomes. Some may grow quickly, others may grow slow, or produce less impressive results. It's essentially a genetic lottery, and when you're attempting your first grow, you probably aren't looking for a genetics experiment, you're probably just looking for mushrooms. Liquid culture normally comes from an established culture that's already been selected and grown successfully. Instead of starting with thousands of possible combinations, you're expanding mycelium with more predictable characteristics. Now, of course, like anything in mushroom growing, that doesn't guarantee success. You still need clean technique and properly prepared grain, but it removes another major variable from a process that already has plenty of them. So at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, liquid culture sounds like the obvious winner. It starts faster, and when properly produced, it can offer a cleaner starting point. So why would anybody in their right mind choose spores? Because the exact thing that makes spores unpredictable is also their biggest advantage. That advantage, my friend, is genetic variety. Spores create new genetic combinations which become more valuable when you're searching for new traits. A more advanced grower might germinate spores on agar and test different cultures to see how they perform. Maybe one colonizes especially quickly, maybe another produces larger mushrooms, or performs better under certain growing conditions. Finding those traits takes more time, more testing, and usually a few more failed experiments. That variation is how growers discover new cultures, turning the unpredictability that frustrates beginners into an advantage once exploration becomes the goal. Spore syringes are also more useful for microscopy because they contain the actual spores that you want to examine. So try not to necessarily think of spore syringes as an inferior version of liquid culture. But when you're brand new, consistency is usually more useful than possibility. So which one should you start with? If you're brand new and your main goal is to grow mushrooms as reliably as possible, I would start with liquid culture from a reputable source. If, on the other hand, your goal is to explore genetics, isolate new cultures, or examine spores under a microscope, then a spore syringe makes more sense. And once again, if I were working with spores, I would first put them on agar before risking any of my grain bags. Can spores directly into grain work? Yes. Do I recommend them for somebody attempting their first grow? Not so much. Now, if you're starting with liquid culture, the next thing you need to know is how to safely inoculate your grain without introducing contamination. I go over that entire process in this video right up here, and that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and happy growing.